gosh.
Wow, that's 60. Okay, so
I came prepared.
indeed, you push down on this. It'll go down one click or two. You pull it all the way down. There you go. And you heard the brake release in the back. So the seat's set for me. It should work perfect for you. When you let off, it'll slow down and completely stop without actually hitting the brake. You only have to hit the brake if it's not stopping fast enough.
So now I'm gonna have to. This doesn't turn that
Doesn't turn that much.
much. Ugh.
Yeah, the regen is really strong on this car. Much more of a sports car than the Smart.
Smart's still better.
Yep.
You still want to get rid of it.
I don't want to get rid of it. Your mom wants to get rid of it.
Oh my gosh.
I know. The
Regen.
regen is so strong.
The signal wasn't on because I didn't click it down twice.
You can go ahead and get on it a little bit.
Whoa. That doesn't feel right. It
really
like
goes.
it like stuttered.
Well, that's the traction control because it was spinning the tires.
Yes. It's so dumb how fast this car wants to go. It's so dumb how fast this car wants to go.
To the floor.
No. That's not good. I had a dream about the first time I drove this car. I had a dream when I hit the accelerator. I put it all the way down to the floor because I thought that would be really funny. And it took off like a rocket, and then I fell out as it was falling, and I died. And that's when I woke up.
So, everybody, in case you don't know, this is my son Joshua. He's 16 years old, doesn't even have a license. He does have his learner's permit, though. So, this is the first time he's driven my my Model 3. You've driven a number of other cars. He's driven our BMW, which is technically faster than this car, but being a gas car, it's not so responsive, so it's not as abrupt. Mostly he drives the our Smart Electric Drive, and he's also driven my wife's Ford Fusion and cars for driver's ed, but this is by far the most responsive car he's yet driven. So today is the first day he's driven it. What do you think so far?
It's a car that goes really fast. That's all I can really.
And this is one of the slower Teslas.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of weight in the car, all of my parts,
Oh, it
and
pulled
it's not fully charged.
It pulled me back onto the center of the road.
Yeah, that's the lane departure thing. Want to try the autopilot?
I don't like that. I don't know if I trust it that much.
You would tap down twice on the right stalk, as long as both of these icons are up on the screen. You don't have to try it if you don't want to.
Oh my gosh, what the heck? What just happened? Do you know that on this road it does something?
Well, no, you weren't centered in the lane perfectly.
Yeah, but it pulled me like all the way up to the center of the road. What was
Watch.
that?
Let go of the wheel completely. You're supposed to technically keep your one hand on the wheel, but
No.
and then to disengage it, if you hit the brake, it'll disengage, or you can hit up on this and it disengages.
It pulled me towards the truck that was.
Well, what it was, you were kind of over toward the right side of the lane, so when it activated, it kind of yanked you to the middle of the lane. That's why. That's right. Mom's kind of sketchy with the autopilot too.
While you're doing it, I don't care. But while I'm driving, I don't want to use it. It's also the first time I've driven.
That's true. Yeah, Joshua hasn't driven at all in a few weeks anyway. We have to charge up the smart car's sitting with like 60% charge. I think we need to charge it up real high and take it out, cycle the battery a little bit today. I think that'd be a good thing. we're just on our way out to grab a bite. So when the cat's away, the mice will play. Turn left here. And we are alone today, well, for a few hours anyway. So,
Stag party.
Yeah, stag party. Cheryl's out running errands and doing a baby shower and different things, so we are driving around and grabbing a bite.
I don't like the regen.
One thing you got to be careful of, always keep your foot over the brake, because twice now I've trusted the regen and I've accidentally bumped the accelerator pedal, and it's not lurched forward, but it's eased forward some, and it kind of caught me off guard. So Joshua's done the bulk of his driving in EVs, mostly in the little Smart. So he's a unique generation that he may indeed end up driving 90% of the miles that he puts on in his life could be in an electric car. It's hard to say. Our oldest daughter, his sister Victoria, is 24, and I'll be interviewing her at some point soon, but she's got a Generation 1 Chevy Volt, and she originally had that Smart electric drive that we purchased from her for Joshua to use. And so the only two cars that she's ever owned in her name have both been electric, the Smart and the Volt. So it's a different world where the younger generations will be experiencing EVs even more so than gas cars. So what are your thoughts on the difference between electric cars and gas cars?
They're cheaper. Well, the cars are more expensive, but the fact that you don't have to really pay for like the energy, the transport,
or very little anyway. Pennies to drive around in an electric car. Does the limited range of the little Smart car bother you at all?
I mean, I'm not driving to Kenosha or anything anytime soon, at least.
True. I actually, for those of you that don't know, I'm actually a fan of short-range EVs, and I really think that they serve a purpose, especially with the high cost of batteries. They're going down tremendously, but 4 or 5 years ago, batteries were so expensive that really the only way to manufacture an EV without charging a fortune was to make it short range. And I'll tell you, that little Smart car, I mean, it's fine. We can run all the errands we'd ever want to run in a day, and it's got plenty of range. It's really not an issue, as long as you charge it every single day. That would be a bummer to wake up in the morning and realize you got a bunch of errands to run, and the car's sitting with 5 miles of range, and you didn't charge it overnight. It'd take a few hours to charge. That would be a bummer. But yeah, I think having a 300-mile range car like this, I need it because I drive 170 miles a day, and in the winter, the range is less anyway, and we do state-to-state driving. But for the most part, a short-range EV is totally fine. Like, I don't plug this thing in oftentimes over the weekend, because it's not going to see enough driving. I'll plug it in every night during the week, though.
So there's like a point where there won't be any regen, but it won't accelerate.
Right, where it's just coasting if you hold
there's like a little gap space in between there.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no regen now, it's just basically coasting or it's pushing itself along, and then regen kicks in.
And you can shut the regen off, and the gas pedal. You can push the right stalk up one click and hold it there for a second, and that puts it into neutral. It's not actually shifting gears, but what it does is electrically sort of decouples the motor from the accelerator and from the brake, and it'll just coast. Once in a while I do it if there's a long spot to coast.
I don't know, the steering feels weird in this car though.
It's very, very precise, almost ridiculously precise.
Yeah.
And some of that's the 20-inch wheels and those low-profile tires I have on it with it lowered.
Because I noticed I've been turning sharper, or not as sharp as I need to.
Yeah, this car is crazy responsive, I'll say that. It's actually one of the things I like. The all-wheel drive cars have a couple 100 pounds more over the front end, and they have a lag to them that the two-wheel drive cars don't. And then this car being lowered with the wheels and tires on it, it's even more responsive. So do you like driving, or is driving just a necessary evil to get around?
I like it. I don't know if I could spend like 4 hours a day in a car every day like you do.
The minute I got behind the wheel of a car, I knew I was in love with it, and I love driving for life. But not everybody's that way. So I gotta say, Joshua being on his permit, I almost never need to correct him for anything. Pretty good driver for the most part. In case you guys are wondering, yes, it is a round steering wheel. I took my cut steering wheel off and put a round wheel on for Joshua to drive. I figured I'd get some comments about, you let him drive your car with that stupid wheel.
You turn it on?
Yeah, it's been recording. You didn't snap in the same spot, so it's not going to work.
I know. That's the comedic effect part.
The comedic effect. I'm going to leave all that in.
Do it. Leave it as a blooper at the end. Oh my gosh.
Wow, that's 60.
Okay. I didn't even go full throttle either.
It pulls pretty good. I love this car. And everyone's like, if you ever drive a performance Model 3, your car will never be good enough after that. I'm like, my car's fast enough. I've only ever had one car get around me. Of course, I purposely don't challenge cars that I know can get around me. Yes. I actually had him at the jump, and then he pulled past me. But he didn't pull very rapidly past me, but he did pass me. So what are some of the things you like in life?
I like baseball. I like designing things.
What kind of things?
Artistic stuff. Like logos and such.
Like thumbnails for YouTube videos. So what's your opinion of Tesla as a company? Being a young person, I don't know if you and your friends have talked about it at all. No opinion?
As long as they make cool stuff, I don't really care.
So Teslas are cool and other cars aren't?
I didn't say
If you could have one car, what would it be?
McLaren.
There you go. Good taste. Well, get that degree and work hard. Or just start doing appliance repair.
No.
You'll be all set.
No. If you buy me that McLaren, I'll do it.
Start a YouTube channel and make $1 bazillion. I don't know.
Buy where?
Anywhere, because I'll flip the car around and then back it in. Well, not so much that I can't get out because of the snow. So, any parting thoughts? Come on, the interweb wants to know. That's such an old person statement.
You're such a...